Hey, I'm GM.
I'm Jason.
And we're back with Podcast for Your Life. Today, we're going to talk about dreams.
Thoughts about dreams, from our dreams for your dreams.
That's right. And what the heck are dreams?
Dreams are movies of your mind that you make up.
Oh, okay.
Short and sweet.
I had no idea.
Yeah. It's like movies that you just play over and over. Like reruns, TV shows, sitcoms for your brain.
That's pretty cool. I had no idea. Well, I guess case closed.
All right, our next episode is... Just kidding.
Dude, dreams are really freaky.
Are they? Why?
Yeah, it's just like, I mean, to me they are. Because, like, it seems like, how can we really even know much about them?
Yeah, it's true. What's fascinating about dreams is it reminds us that even though we're sleeping, our brains are still working.
Yeah, that's what freaks me out. It's like, it kind of makes you question even what sleep is at all because of like, okay, yeah, I'm unconscious,
Sure.
but my brain's still working. So is my brain even getting any rest if it's still working?
Yeah, it is. Because like a lot of the things that we do on a daily basis, like the bodily functions and like physical motor skills do involve your brain, even though we're not consciously always thinking about like, okay, I need to lift my hand up. And so
Yeah.
I think it is some rest. But I think there's this like intellectual or like memory part of our brain that, you know, still replays stuff or like has our own thoughts.
Yeah. And it's weird to me because it's like, we can't know much about them. It's like our brain's still churning. Is it stuff that like was stressing us out or worrying us during the day? Is it something that's like actually relevant? Or we've all probably had dreams that have been like completely irrelevant, super out of nowhere kind of thing. And so it's like, was my brain just kind of wandering around in the dark at night, like just thinking of stuff? Like it just kind of freaks me out that our brain can just our brains can create stuff without us being in charge. It's like while we're not in the driver's seat, the
Sure.
brain's like just doing like, it's like while the cat's away, the mouse will play, you know?
The brain's like, sweet, Jason's finally asleep. I can do whatever I want.
He's always limiting me. He's always limiting what I can think about, what I can dream up, what I can, like what random situations and scenarios I can make out of thin air.
Yeah.
Now that he's asleep, I can do whatever I want.
I wonder if that's a right brain, left brain sort of a thing. I have no idea because I don't know
Yeah, me neither.
anything about neuroscience. One of my friends is married to a neurosurgeon. I should ask them.
And on the Podcast for Your Life hotline, we've got this neurosurgeon. Hello, are you there? Oh, they're not there. Dang it. Well,
So I think for me, kind of going on what you just said, I think a lot of what I'm thinking about during the day does show up in dreams at night. And for me, a lot of times it's the most obscure moment of my day that shows up in my dream.
Yeah.
Where it's not something that I was like fully focused on or aware of like the pressing matters of the day. It was something that was just a quick passing thought.
Yeah.
And then it's like your brain never was fully like finished thinking
Yeah.
about that person or that thing or that
Yeah.
coffee or whatever. It's like, wait, what? Why am I thinking about this in my dream? But for me, I feel like maybe it's because I'm maybe kind of a light sleeper, and so I am still sort of awake in my dream. But
Yeah.
when it comes to those moments, I feel like I can trace even the most obscure things that I'm dreaming about back to something that happened that day or in the past couple of days.
yeah.
So it's like as I'm dreaming, I'm like, oh, that's why I'm thinking about that person, or that's why that person's my dream, or that's why I'm driving off a cliff because I was thinking about that. I'm just kidding. I've never thought about that.
Yeah, it's like your brain wasn't finished like exploring that idea. So it's like, okay, now that he's asleep,
Yeah.
I can do that.
It's really fascinating.
Yeah. And my understanding, and I'm obviously not in neuroscience or anything like that, but is that like we have theories and some of those can be like a little bit like, okay, yeah, this seems like pretty plausible. We can at least, you know, determine that this is not impossible. But it seems like in a lot of ways we can't prove much about dreams. It's like,
Yeah.
it's not like we can watch somebody else's dreams
Yeah, exactly.
while they're asleep, like we plug up some stuff to their brain or whatever.
Yeah.
We can't really do that. And so it's not, we can monitor waves or
Yeah,
whatever
brain activity, yeah.
activity, but not, and we know like what stage of sleep it happens.
Right, yeah.
But it seems like there's so much that we can't know. And some neuroscientists out there might be like, no, we can know a lot more or something like that. And might know, I'm definitely could be wrong, but like, it just feels that way. It feels like
Yeah.
it's this thing that we just can't really ever get a grasp on.
Yeah, and I think that's why like the movies about dreams are really interesting, like Inception. I think it's just fascinating, and just all the like interesting thoughts and creativity behind that is like, yeah, what if we could go into somebody else's dream and like affect things in the dream and that affects them in real life? Is just like, wow.
Dude, can I tell you something crazy?
Yes.
So when my dad was in college, he had a dream that his dad died of a heart attack.
That's sad.
It's like it's weird. It's really like vivid. I could see the hospital, all this stuff. And then he wrote, this was like the snail mail days. He wrote my dad a letter and kind of mentioned it, I think, something like that. And then his dad died of a heart attack.
No.
Yep. Before like that, he had got a chance to tell him about it.
Wow, that's weird.
Not that could have prevented things.
Sure.
But like I can't explain it. I'm not going to really try to, but he dreamed it would happen and it happened.
Wow.
And he didn't obviously want that to happen. I think it was more like if anything, like he had a little bit more preparation.
Huh.
You know?
Like,
Like,
how do you know? You know, I
don't think he did. I think he just thought like, that's weird. But
okay.
But he got to,
He like considered the possibility of like, oh yeah, my dad could die from a heart attack.
yeah. And like,
Wow.
man, that would suck. And man, I love my dad and I want to, talk to him or send him a letter or whatever.
Yeah.
So,
Wow.
yeah.
I do think that there's some sort of spiritual element to dreams.
Yeah.
Like historically, there have been different figures who have had dreams and stuff. Like I think about like the prophet Daniel, and he was considered,
Martin Luther King Jr.
Yeah, or like Joseph, whatever. They were considered people who could kind of interpret dreams, which is really interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think depending on where you're at, like spiritually or whatever,
Yeah.
I think a lot of spirituality does kind of tie into
Sure.
that dream idea. Like,
Well, like with your dad's dream, it's like maybe there was something spiritual behind that. Like
Yeah.
maybe he got some sort of, not forewarning, but like
yeah.
foreshadowing?
Yeah, something like that. And maybe if you're a listener and you're like not into that, that's totally fine. But I think there is a level of like, we don't understand it. And if you have any spiritual belief at all, I think there's something that can play into that. Like, yeah, we don't understand dreams, and we also don't understand a lot of like spiritual kind of stuff if you're into that. So I think there's something there that deserves some level of, I don't know, connection, assuming that there could be something there like that there's supposed to be some meaning out of it, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah. I mean, I think I've heard of people having visions too. I guess a vision is like a dream that you're awake or something.
Yeah.
So what are some dream problems that people talk about, like more common ones? And maybe you have some specific ones, but
There's there's always the comment of like falling. That's like a big dream problem.
falling off a cliff.
Yeah.
And then you wake up and you're like, oh my gosh, that was really high.
Yeah. Or like there's weird things too where you're like, oh, I couldn't move. Like those kind of things where you have a dream like I couldn't move, or I couldn't control anything. Right?
I was trying to talk and I couldn't talk. Like the words weren't coming out of my mouth, and I was trying really hard.
The dream have you ever had a dream where you're actually kind of watching yourself? Like you're not really in control. It's kind of like you're witnessing yourself do something, and you're kind of like, wait, I want to affect what's happening, but
no, I can't remember that.
I had some of those where it's like it feels like I'm just a spectator, and I'm watching myself like interact or do whatever, and I want to be like, no, don't do that or whatever.
Wow.
Yeah.
Out of body experiences, Jan. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
I've had dreams where I'm trying to run away from something, and I just can't run away. And it's like, it feels like my whole body is putting this effort into like, wait, this is so easy. I know how to run. If this was real life, I would be running really fast right now, but I'm not. Or
there are a lot of those weird
dreams where I've gotten shot, and I've never gotten shot in my life.
Yeah.
But I just like,
you get seriously injured.
Yeah.
Like that.
And you're just like, I know I've been shot, but I don't feel any pain.
Yeah. But you're still like alarmed. You're like, no, this is not good either way.
It's fascinating.
Yeah.
Or like when I'm trying to open my eyes, like, I can't see that person's face clearly. And you're like trying to open, like, like rubbing your eyes in your dream. And
that's something I've noticed. I think
it's crazy.
I think so. A lot of times in dreams, there'll be people I know in them, and then there'll be a lot of strangers.
Interesting.
And so like there's times where there'll be like a lot of people I don't know, but if I remember the dream kind of well, I'll notice that they didn't really have like specific facial features. It's just like a fuzziness.
Yeah, it was just like there was a person there.
Yeah, there's a person there. But if I like ever looked at any of them, it's like it alarmed me in the dream. But when I wake up, if I can remember it well enough, it's like, they just had a blurry face. Like
I don't remember. Yeah.
Like a blurred, like kind of like when you anonymize somebody on Google Maps or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like that.
Do you have any like memorable dreams from your childhood that you still remember?
I do have this one. It's like I remember an element of it, but there's this. I used to watch the old like Chronicles of Narnia BBC videos when I was a kid. BBC. I remember being like really terrified by the wolf character. He was like the chief of police for the witch or whatever, and he was kind of terrifying to me as a kid. If you look at him now, it's just like he's wearing like a fur costume. It's really not high production value, but he scared me enough. Like, not when I watched it, I wasn't like freaking out, but where he'd pop up in my dreams a lot. Yeah, I remember this one where I was like at my grandmother's house, and like I got there and he was there, which is kind of almost like a Red Riding Hood sort of deal. Yeah. But he hadn't eaten my grandmother, but
Jam Riding Hood.
He was there, and I was like just trying to run away from him. I just like remember having a lot of dreams of like running away from that wolf guy.
Huh.
And I've like, it's weird that sticks with me. Like, some of the details obviously have faded, but just remembering that that's something that was recurring for me.
Yeah, scary dreams when you're a kid are interesting because I remember like my brother would have scary dreams a lot that he would have to wake up and, think that there's something in the room or the closet or whatever. And it's interesting how like as you're an adult, you still realize like, okay, I think that was just a dream, but they still affect you emotionally, like certain scary dreams. When I was little, I had kind of a recurring dream that there was this skeleton that was chasing me around our house, and he was trying to tickle me.
Yeah.
That's it. And I think that's why I'm so ticklish to this day.
Dude, all the joys of having pretty naive dreams. It's like the worst thing a skeleton could do to you when you're a kid was tickle you.
Yeah. It was, so anyway, it's weird. It is interesting how kids have scary dreams.
I used to keep a dream journal.
Did you?
I was looking at it before we recorded this.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy. Why did you keep this journal?
Well, because I'd have enough weird ones, and sometimes I thought maybe that'd be something significant. But like, I'll write it down so I can at least remember it now, because you know how quickly they fade.
Yeah.
Like the details of your dreams just fade so fast.
Yep.
So I wrote some down, and I was looking at it a little bit, and I think there's one that would be valuable enough to share.
Please, that'll wrap us up.
Okay. So I'll just read it as is. My dream is pretty much about, this is 1-17-13.
Oh.
My dream is pretty much completely about balloons. There were balloons everywhere at my high school at one point. I was already graduated. I remember balloons growing like in nature. I was at this field at my grandmother's retirement community. There were hot air balloons everywhere, and this one guy kept making the hot air balloons go up and down rapidly. Many of them were oddly shaped or excessively decorated. A guy on top of one of the balloons, he got on top of it somehow, and that one guy kept throwing him up in the air and catching him because he kept raising and lowering the hot air balloons. It looked very dangerous. Then I woke up to my alarm, and then I went back to sleep. When I did, suddenly I was holding tightly to one of the balloons as it rose up and up and up. Then I jumped off and woke up as I was falling. And then I went back to sleep, and I was in the air clutching to a balloon again. This time, a bit... I let a bit of... It got a bit of a hole in it and let all the air out, and then the balloon went like kind of crazy, and I was holding onto it, and then I don't quite remember like landing. Like I don't know if I like hit the ground hard or anything like that, but then I woke up.
Wow.
And so it was like,
it's weird that you woke up several times and kept going back to the dream.
Yeah, I love the beginning too, where it's like it was completely about balloons. Like that was my way of summarizing it.
Wow, dude, that's impressive.
Yeah,
20-year-old Jam had some really vivid balloon dreams.
Yeah,
were the balloons in color?
Yes, they were. So it was a very colorful dream.
I hear that that's something special.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't even remember if I've dreamt in color.
So we don't have time to go into talking about it, but when we post this episode, I'm going to share this New Yorker article about dreams that I read a couple weeks ago, and it's just fascinating. So we'll share that later on if you're interested in reading that. Sweet.
New Yorker articles for your life.
Amen.
Wow.
Well, everyone, thanks so much for listening and entertaining our dive into our dreams, the weirdness of dreams. And are supposing and not really getting any answers about where they're from or what they mean. But hey, we still have them. So,
dreams. I wish your heart makes.
Dreams. When your brain won't go to sleep, but your body is asleep.
Dreams. My brain is taking over and I can't get out. Help. We'll dream of you guys later. Sounds weird.
And thanks to Jay in Texas for suggesting this topic. Basically, it was inspired by his suggestion. So, thanks, Jay. Well, that's all we got. We'll see you in our dreams.
Every night in my dreams, I see you.